We do so on a monthly basis with the team from PGG Wrights and GM of Wool. Grant Edwards joins us. And Grant, without wanting to use a rugby cliche, because you and I are both old footy players from way back when, the wool market in the past month has been a game of two halves.
Yeah, g'day, Jamie. No, it certainly has been. And those two halves are around the fine wools. We're in the peak of our selling season for those merino wools, and they're selling exceptionally well through the auction system. And we do have, as we've talked about previously, we've got a lot of that wool is contracted also. So, those prices are back to close to the extremes of 3 years ago. And certainly at the finest edge, we'd be getting very close on par. So that's certainly, the merino wools are certainly selling very well, and there's some excellent clips coming through the system.
And they're coming off now, or have just come off recently, right?
Yeah, correct. There's shorn sort of through that August period, and the biggest selling months we have for those types of months is September, October, Jamie. Yep.
So fine wool's fine and dandy. The problem for us here, the majority of our wools in New Zealand are crossbreds. I know we've got some half-breds as well, but the crossbred wool, there were glimmers, there were green shoots, but then it's dropped back about 10% since I chatted to your offsider Grant Cochrane like a month ago. Is this all COVID lockdown related?
It has come off to 10%, as you correctly say. A lot of it is being driven, or a degree of it's being driven out of China demand. They're very quiet in the marketplace at the moment, and we're also seeing, with the wools that are shipped out of China, the shipping costs and the tariffs, etc., from America that were introduced under the Trump presidency, they're having those flow-on effects.
Yeah, I guess when it comes to shipping, wool is disadvantaged. It's a bulky product. Uses a kilo of wool takes up more space in a container than a kilo of meat, and it's only worth about a fifth of the value.
Yes, Jamie, we do try and certainly pack it down into the containers, but to give you an understanding, a container pre-COVID out of China, say into Europe, from my understanding, was somewhere around about $2,500 to $2,500 US a container. That was the cost. Currently, it's $10,000 plus. So, it's certainly impacting our wool market, but it's certainly, it's an impact on all those exporters around the world that use containers to ship their products.
Grant, I heard Mark Barraclough asking the question, who's going to share our 30 million sheep this season? He's got a real point there. It's going to be a huge issue because we're just not going to get the shearers in.
Yeah, correct, Jamie. We're seeing that, across other, our horticulture, etc. And the government, at some stage, we need to support our industries here in New Zealand from the shearing. Yeah, as you say, I did read Mark's article actually yesterday, and he's already raising that through that peak crossbred shearing period through that sort of late or December, January, February. He's already signalling that the challenge that there'll be for shearers and for wool handlers. A lot of those shearers, of course, come out of Australia and come out of through your Englands, etc. It will be a challenge going forward, Jamie.
Look, let's just finish on a good news story, and I'm so pleased to hear with the cancellations of a lot of these AMP shows and perhaps more of those pending, that the New Zealand Merino shares are going ahead in Alexandra, and then the Waimate shares are going ahead the week after that. So at least that's a positive for the shearing industry.
Yeah, no, it's great to see, Jamie, and we've actually got a sponsorship that goes across the six main events throughout New Zealand and then culminates in the Golden Shares, of course, in Masterton. So, it's great to see that they will continue.